I actually have his level here. I'd have to look it up.
I have to say, getting Null Contar to give us a scroll of Dispel Magic to free this dude is a pretty good quest line.
So what is the plan for the tower? I mean, you guys all have about 20 hours before the Hobgoblins are going to get restless. You spent a whole day going to Kiska and back. And you told him, hey, we need another day, but he didn't say you were going to get it. He just said, hurry up.
I say that we inventory the treasure.
Yep, loot
take
all
any
the magic
items we want. Take our share of the gold and just tell them it's open and free. And then we just leave the treasure we owe them.
Well,
I mean,
what about the weapon of mass destruction that we're standing in?
We smash
we have to destroy that.
Smash it. Yeah, we have to destroy
I also would like to do something about the Afraid. I just don't know what.
You could plane shift in.
Goblins are going to kill him.
I could actually potentially send him to the Flame of Fire.
Can you
if
cast
that was
plane
a
shift
thing.
twice
Not in a day, but I could cast it tomorrow. I mean,
what I'm asking is, can you like, is the Feywild a death trap?
I don't know. I've never been there. I haven't used the other two yet.
I'll let you both make Arcana checks if you want to know. See, I mean, because Tarin, you built a library. I mean, you might have this information. You have.
Yeah, I want to transfer the library to the tower at some point too. Let's see here. On Arcana, that's actually pretty okay. That's 16.
Okay, let me look up.
And I got the DC on my library is 15.
So you got a 16. Eldove, what did you get?
I didn't roll.
Okay.
I'll roll now.
The Feywild is a place of primal nature and sylvan magic. It's neither good nor evil. It can be very hostile. Like, you've never been yourself, but walking through the woods to get to Fenufar, the Feywild would be like, it's that kind of trickery and illusion on a grander scale.
The other thing is, this guy actually wanted to return to Romneus, so...
Right, no, he's not an extraplanar creature. He says he's from the fires from beyond Romneus. Sending him to the Feywilds, it probably would be a hostile environment either for him or for whatever poor denizens are on the other side when he arrives.
Yeah.
Would it break the chain?
You have no idea. It didn't break. It didn't break the other one's chain.
Break the chain for the other guy.
No, only go slack after he would have been killed. Eldove, you said you only saw.
What's the chain attached to?
The pillar.
Yeah, it's attached
to
the pillar.
Can we just break the pillar?
You can try. How do you do it?
Does anybody know any kind of crushing magic?
We do have a death ray.
No.
It doesn't
Okay.
work inside the tower.
Does 1,000 pounds of force break the pillar?
Do you go downstairs and try it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eldove, before you go all the way downstairs, I want to ask you. You asked about traps, and you only saw the ones in the basement, right?
I relay everything that I saw in it.
Okay.
Did you get the command word for his cloak?
No, but I can cast Identify on it.
Okay.
Duke's gonna start going room to room in the tower.
I'll go
while
with
they
him
go
and
mess with the
detect
pillar.
magic.
I'm going to start Eldove first.
Okay.
Eldove goes down into the basement, climbs down the ladder. And the Ifrit is there. And he eyes you very suspiciously and very nervously.
And I tell the Ifrit, I'm here to attempt to break your chain.
This is attempt. So you were not successful in getting the wizard to release the spell.
No, so our current thought is that we could get another wizard or a warlock we know to give us a scroll of dispel magic. But I thought we could try something else before we tried that. I'm going to attempt to weaken the bond between the pillar and your chain.
And he just nods once.
And I'm going to try to telekinesis the pillar, like.
And you push the pillar
as well as I can.
But it feels like the harder you push against it, the magic enchanting the pillar pushes back. If it were just a stone pillar, you'd be able to break it no problem and probably bring the whole tower down on top of you. This is a load-bearing pillar. But no, because you don't know what kind of magic it was enchanted with, except that it discharges cold energy. But the walls of this place, like you saw Khalil trying to hammer into stone earlier, and the stone of the floor did not give way. The structural integrity of this tower is magically reinforced.
And I'll just relate that to the genie, and I'll tell him I'm gonna head back upstairs, and if we find anything else, I'll come down and let you know. Otherwise, we'll keep going with our other plan with the scroll.
And he just very angrily regards you as you climb back up the ladder, and he doesn't respond. So the rest of you are searching through the tower. And it's very barren. Most of the rooms are empty. What few rooms have furniture don't look to contain much of value. It looks like all of his accumulated wealth is located securely down in his treasury downstairs.
That's what I
At one point, this tower may have been alive. At one point, there may have been many people living here, or serving here under this wizard, but it hasn't been occupied by more than him for a couple of years at least. You do find his quarters, and it's like I described to Eldove when he was probing his mind. And I don't really care which room it is. You guys can pick whichever room it is. Doesn't matter to me. And you just see his bed, and you see next to it is sitting a table. Draped over that is this cloak that you saw in his mind.
We'll grab it.
Okay.
Do we find his spellbook?
I'll let everybody make an investigation check. Well, let me ask this. It's going to take longer to search the entire tower to find the spellbook than you have before the hobgoblins make a move.
I did think of one other thing here, guys.
Okay.
We could ask the High Priest of Garrison for the scroll, but we might get peas instead.
He's going to spin his dials.
Yeah.
I know a high priest we could ask for the scroll.
Oh yeah.
The high priest of, I forget what god it was, but it's the person I know in Dunfoss.
In Dunfoss?
The guy
Yeah,
you were
he's the high priest
forbidden from interacting
of the
with.
battle god.
Yeah.
No, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
In Dunfoss or in Kiska?
In Kiska.
In Kiska.
Yeah, I was going to
The
say.
guy
Yeah,
who regenerated Warwind Axe's eyes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
I mean, I don't think he owes you a favor, but he would be a potential
Well,
source
well,
of this magic.
That's just not Alcantar.
Do you want me to
just-
rest an hour and send them both sendings?
Well, let me put out the rules for searching this tower first.
Okay.
Everybody can make an investigation check at disadvantage. Zook, you can make it regularly.
Okay.
Here's the problem. If you're going to conduct a thorough search of this tower, if you don't roll really, really well, you're not going to find the spellbook before the hobgoblins make their move. You don't have a full day left.
Well, if it's going to take that long, Tarin doesn't really care, because the only person who can use it is Cube, and it's a little bit out of his league anyway.
And he already has a pretty beefy spellbook. The flip side of that statement is, once the hobgoblins are dealt with, you might be able to negotiate, hey, now we're going to search this tower and find the spellbook. This is a thing of value. And you did say we had our pick of the magic items. So
Yeah,
I'm not saying you can't have it. I'm just saying you probably want to deal with the hobgoblins first. I don't want to have to roll a bunch of catapult to hit rolls and...
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Since most of this tower is empty, or appears to be empty, I would assume that Zook's knowledge of towers and magicians, because he's done this a couple times now, would probably know where his lab was. Like, was that room that we were near the top? That appear to be a lab, like where he probably would have done most of his work.
First of all, I'm not convinced Zook has done this enough to be able to make any kind of generalization about how wizards in towers live. But no, he didn't have an alchemy lab the way that the other wizard did. He didn't have a setup with like beakers and vials and things like that. In fact, this tower was very, very barren of that kind of magical equipment. You get the sense that he consolidated a lot of his wealth seeking down really rare and exotic magical components to build this device that he's contracted.
Well, I was thinking I could about narrowing down my investigation.
Okay.
But no, I mean I'll just roll investigation while these other guys do their thing.
So are we looking for the book, or are we going to deal with the hobgoblins?
Well, first we're going to, at least I think, make sure that we grab everything out of that treasure room. The stuff that looks
Yeah.
magical.
Okay, how do you intend to do that?
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis? Okay.
Yeah,
So
I guarantee I can carry twice the weight of whatever I'm pulling out.
Should I load up the dungeon map again? Since we're all going back down
If
there?
you think it's necessary.
I do think it's necessary.
Because we're totally
Do you guys want me to do some sendings first? Give me an hour.
That's the other question. Do you trust the hobgoblins enough to just do this all through them? Say, hey, we found this treasure. We're gonna take what's out of it.
Well, I mean, it'll kill them if they try and go into the room. Probably.
They got a lot of goblins, though. Actually, Eldove, because you probed his mind looking for traps, your telekinesis spell won't work. It won't go through the plane of the door. You'd have to use the spell from inside the room. But
I can make myself immune to fire.
Well, if you could do that, you don't need telekinesis. You just carry it all out.
Also,
Well,
I'm pretty
the
sure
thing is,
Orphan can do
I'll
that.
turn myself into a flaming monster.
That's fine.
So I'll need to use telekinesis so I don't burn everything I'm carrying.
But the plane of the door is the cause of the magic. Breaking that plane of the door, and it's warded against things like telekinesis and mage hand. It's guarded against those kinds of spells.
Oh, that's right. I can't use telekinesis and my flaming monster spell at the same time anyway, so I'd have to not use telekinesis.
I mean, from Eldove, you could just say, hey, hobgoblins, here's where all the treasure is. Just send wave of goblins in there to retrieve it. And if they die,
No
Whatever.
problem, we can't send wave after wave of goblin after.
Yeah, but we have our immune to fire man who can just walk in there and be like, hey, grab, and say, hey, you just take our word for it. We took our 10% and walked.
Well, I mean, there's going to be a ton of treasure still in there. They'll be able to tell that we didn't steal everything. Because we're not going to rob them.
While he's doing that, I'll meditate to get my spells back.
okay, so Tarin's taking a short rest. Is anybody else taking a short rest?
No, I'm going over here so I can
Khalil
unlock this
is.
chest
He needs
if
to
need be.
burn some hit dice.
Me too.
I'm gonna help.
Well, if he's taking a
Eldove.
short rest, we might as well spend a little bit of time investigating the tower. So we'll make some kind of disadvantage roll.
Okay, yeah, everybody can make a disadvantaged investigation check.
Is Fred helping me out during my short rest? Do I get his bard song awesomeness?
Yeah, that's sure. That's fine. I mean, if you request it of him, he will.
Can Zook still roll normal, or does he also do disadvantage?
Zook is not disadvantaged.
How much is Fred's song of rest?
Let me do the searching first.
Okay.
And I'll look up Fred's Song of Rest.
Khalil is 11.
Okay, so
No, I'm gonna use a lucky die on this.
I'm a 15.
you're 15. Okay, Zook, what did you end up with?
With the lucky, that'll be a 16 investigation.
16 total. Did anybody get higher than 21?
Damn. I think that's likely.
Remember how hidden the other guy's spell book was. This is not something he's going to leave just in a hidden compartment somewhere. There's a lot of tricks to it.
No, but we can take time to. I'll investigate again after this if we can.
Okay. Song of Rest. Khalil and Tarin can both take an extra d6 hit points. Because Fred is serenading you while you're resting. So, what happens with the hobgoblins? What's the plan for those guys? Because we're at 9 o'clock now. We're at the end of the adventure. We just want to wrap up all the loose ends. Are you going to try to loot as much of room 6 as you can now? Are you going to go out and relay what happened to the hobgoblins? Are we planning to betray them in any way? Are we going to buy them off? Are we going to make them happy?
Orphan votes to just go out and deal with them as we promised.
Yeah, no, Tarin.
See, I say we deal with them honestly. We just make sure that part of our dealings is don't go through the fire room with the horrible demon in it, and don't shoot arrows at the demon.
Yeah.
So what do you tell... I had his name here. I still have it, I guess.
Oh, also, before we went out there,
Yeah.
I totally broke the fucking death ray. Like, the death ray's... That's not gonna work again.
Now, what did you do to break it?
I used telekinesis to smash it.
You went up to the roof and smashed the mirror? Or do you, smash the apparatus in the room below, or what?
You should telekinesis one of the projectiles from the catapults all over it.
Anything that looked delicate and necessary Like, basically, anything that if someone looked at this, they could tell how this thing worked, it's broken.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you spend some time. I mean, there's debris sitting up on the roof of the tower where one of the catapults, a boulder that was on fire at one point. It's covered in pitch. You assume they lit it on fire and flung it over the lake. And you see it scored a direct hit in the center of the mirror and spiderwebbed the glass in the middle and sent a large crack down either side. And you can just grab this boulder, you bring it back downstairs, you just start whacking all the mechanical apparatuses in this room. And before long, you're very pleased with your work. You're pretty sure that no one will be able to duplicate.
I'm just picturing,
Angus's
like,
efforts.
an old lady, like, I hate these damn machines!
Goddamn computers!
Eldove-
Nornan virus can go to hell!
Khalil spent 4 hit dice during that short rest.
Okay.
So did Tarin.
So who's going out to talk to the hobgoblins? And what do you tell them?
I'm definitely gonna go with Tarin.
Okay, so
Yeah, I mean, I thought Orphan wanted to go. I was waiting for her to say something, but if she doesn't,
Yeah,
I'll
what,
go.
Tarin,
Yeah,
Eldove.
I thought we were getting our pick of the stuff first.
Yeah, we took all the magic, didn't we?
Nobody's
thing
been
we
in
found
room
was
6
the
and took
cloak.
anything.
Well,
Yeah,
took
we
the cloak.
didn't take it.
A cloak and Zoo took a wand of magic missile.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not the magic that we're gonna get. We're gonna get something better than that.
Okay.
Well then, okay, let's ID up some of these magic items then. Let me detect magic on all the stuff you guys pulled out of the room first.
Nobody pulled anything out of the room, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
We didn't do that yet. If you want to take another 10 minutes and do that, I can do that.
yeah, let's do it.
Alright,
Okay.
yeah, I'll head into the room.
Now, what's the
Detect
setup?
magic. Well,
What-
first, Tarin needs to detect magic and tell me what to take out.
Everything in the room is radiating magic. Every single item.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Down to the smallest coin.
Because it's been duplicated into room 3, is what it sounds like.
Okay, in that case, I will
Well, let me.
just walk in there and just start.
Now, you made yourself immune to fire.
I'm immune to fire.
How long does that last?
A decent amount of time, but I can only cast it once.
Okay.
Is that
Well,
the wording in the book?
the rules are that every square in there counts as difficult terrain, and you have to spend 5 movement points per item you want to take out of the room. But if you're immune to fire,
How many items are there?
lots. But that's why I'm asking how long you're immune to fire for. Because if you're immune to fire for like 10 minutes, you can make trips in and out of the room to get basically everything. The only thing you wouldn't...
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay. The 2 chests that have coins in them, and there's more coins that can be stuffed into the chests. I mean, you have to load some of the coins up in bags. As far as coinage goes, you find 1,560 silver.
Oh wait, let me actually write this down if we're gonna start toting shit up. Okay, 1,000 what?
1,560 silver.
Okay.
1,570 gold. Up on the shelf, there are 12 gems of various type, worth 500 each.
500 gold, I assume.
Yeah, 500 gold each. Everything else I'm measured in gold.
Okay.
As far as the items up on the shelves, you see the 3 tapestries on the wall. Each one of those is worth 750. You find a gold and ruby ring worth 500 gold. You find a carved ivory goblet worth 230 gold. You find a ballroom mask adorned with colorful feathers. That's worth 25. There's the crystal glass bottle that has an ornate opal stopper, and that's worth 350. And it's filled with some kind of liquid that you have not identified. It's translucent. You can look through it. Doesn't have any color to it. Maybe it's vodka. And you find an intricate soapstone music box that, when opened, plays a very haunting tune. That's worth 540. So that just leaves the metal chests sitting in the room. And examining the chest, you see that it's bolted down to the floor. It can't be moved out of this room. And it's locked.
Bolted down, you say?
It is attached to the floor and the wall in place.
How difficult is it So you said it's difficult terrain to move in and out of there. Where in the room is it? How? Trying to wait, decide if it's going to kill me to try to go in there and pick the lock.
In room 3, let me zoom in here. In room 3, it would have been in this corner here. So in room 6, it would be in this space here. You would have to go in there, spend a turn to attempt to pick the lock. And that's assuming it's not traps. You may have to spend a turn to look for traps and then a second turn to pick the lock.
And Fred,
Go
ahead.
I was going to ask, can anyone do anything to mitigate my by taking a fire damage?
Eldove could cast haste on you. You could get 2 actions.
Can Fred cast Endure Elements or anything along those lines?
No. No, Fred has the most useless spells I could possibly give him.
Okay.
I don't manage their elements.
Eldove can cast haste on me, though. That would help.
Yeah, I can haste you, so you'd be able to search it for traps and pick it at the same turn.
I mean, you're gonna burn, but you're gonna burn.
I can do more than that because I get another dex. Because I also have a dex move bonus action too.
Yeah, don't you also have?
And the difficult terrain wouldn't be any big deal at all once you had haste on.
Right.
Yeah. As long as you don't end your movement in the room, I think you're okay.
All right, sure.
So you can run in, do your 2 actions, and then run out again.
Yeah, use the bonus action to dash out. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So Eldove expends the haste
burn
spell.
my spell points.
And Zook feels much more limber than usual. So you run in.
Run in.
Spend a turn checking for traps. Go ahead and make that perception roll.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
16 plus 23 plus another 5, so that's like 28.
You see a keyhole in the front of the chests. And etched almost imperceptibly around it, you see magical runes. And you surmise that to be a trap. But it's a magical trap. You have no way to disarm it.
Alright, and I'm going to pew back out. And I'm going to pass along. This thing's magically trapped. Or I think it's magically trapped.
Can you pick it anyway?
I could try, but it might kill me in the process.
No, you have evasion, right?
I do have evasion. Fred,
And
how much more
in
healing?
character, that's something more like, but you're really fast, right?
Fred says, yes.
How much healing do you have left in you?
He says, presuming you don't die, and someone's willing to go in and drag your unconscious body back out of the room after whatever terrible thing is about to happens, he says, I could probably make sure that you live to see another day.
YOLO?
Sounds like a ringing endorsement.
Okay.
So, hold on, because I have other things that'll help. I have advantage on all dex checks if I use more than half my speed on turn. I'm hasted, so that's not a problem.
Dex checks, not dex saves.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. So I could actually roll with advantage too. Right now.
Did you ever pick up that feat that lets you save against traps?
I hadn't done that yet, but maybe I'll do that if I survive this. Alright, cool. So I'm going to roll with advantage to pick this lock and pray that I don't die.
Okay. Now, how many movement points do you spend to get in the room? Assuming you're at the doorway, 5, 10, so 20 movement points to get into the room. What's your actual movement? Your base?
My base movement is 25. What is my hasted movement?
50.
50. So
Right,
if you dash, it's 100. So you've spent 20 out of 100 so far.
Right, so I can roll this with advantage.
24.
24?
24 to pick the lock.
You go down to pick the lock, and the magic rune on the front of the chest discharges and racks your body with electricity. Go ahead and make a dex save.
And maybe wrecks your body with electricity.
Okay, I'm going to lucky die.
Oh, that's a lucky die. That's a lucky die.
Is that a nat 1? Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
totally-
Okay, so that'll be a 15 plus, you said a dex save?
Dex save.
Yeah.
So that becomes a 25.
25, okay. So, the trap shoots out lightning from the keyhole, but you whip out of the way, and you see the magic discharge against the wall behind you. Thank God for evasion. But you managed to pop the lock on the trap.
That's badass.
So you managed to pop the lock on the trap.
Before my turn ends, like, what do I see in there?
You open it up, bunch of potions, one scroll, collection of arrows.
Okay, how long does haste last?
Like a minute.
A minute.
Oh, well,
so you got a
Eldove-
couple more.
Yeah. Well, I grab some stuff and zip out before my haste runs out, and
Okay.
I'll spend the next.
Do you try to take all of it? It's 5 points of movement per item you want to take. I'm counting all the arrows as one item.
I'm taking basically as much as I'm gonna scoop up as much as I can, and still be able to get out. I don't know how much that is. Let's see.
You did 20 out of 100.
Yeah, that
so
leaves you
can do
40.
another
If you take
80.
everything, that leaves you 45 movement to get back out of the room. And then
But
you
you
won't.
have plenty of
Then
it.
you won't catch fire.
Yeah. Let's
that's-
do that. I have plenty movement left.
All right. Some of these potions, you know what they do. You see 2 potions of healing and 1 potion of greater healing. The other ones you're not sure. And there's a spell scroll. I don't know if anybody has it on their spell lists. I'll check for that real quick.
Zook does.
Oh, that's
Well, I
right.
have used my.
No,
I don't
yeah,
think I can-
Zook does.
Zook would know. It's a scroll of alter self.
Huh.
And then a bunch of arrows that look like they're dwarven make. Very, very sharp.
Are they like special to me in any way, or are they just good arrows?
Are they do you think dwarven arrows are special?
I don't know that. Like, is there such thing as a +1 arrow?
There is, but Zook has no way of knowing how many pluses these arrows have.
All right. Well, I'll just hang. Just put that all in party loot for now.
Okay, so you have all the loot from the treasury in party loot. And what's the plan now?
I'm going to cast Sending, and I'll first cast Sending to, who was not corrupt in Garrison? Let me look at my notes.
Who's not corrupt? Basically
The new,
nobody. No.
The new head. We liked
So,
them, I remember.
What was his name?
Who got put in charge? I remember we liked them.
Yeah, it was a woman.
Oh,
It was the mage.
Yeah, the mage.
Yeah, it
I'm
was the
talking about
mage.
at the church, not of the city itself.
Oh, none of them were corrupt except for the groundskeeper, I don't think.
Oh yeah, no. In the
And-
church, there was nobody corrupt that you know of.
Except for the guy that was Tellish. Tellish was the only one.
Yeah, Tellish was the main
Yeah.
guild master. Then
Assassin
Arnes
guy.
So,
was the
and then
mayor,
Harmon-
and Arnes was his underling in
Yep.
the guild.
And Harmon is the canon, right? And then Harper is the elder?
Harper is the old senile cleric.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do a Sending to Harmon, and I'll say, Eric sends his best. Need help with a high-level Dispel Magic scroll. Is that possible?
I'm waiting for the last
Reply
line of the
25
message
words
because I know it's coming.
Respond 25 words or less.
The response is, how high of a level do you need it?
How do I communicate this to a priest? Something in the plane shift range. Respond 25 words or less.
Okay. We do some calculations here.
Is he breaking out the wheels?
Here we go. Gonna get them wheels to spin.
Nodal, did you write down what was in that chest that I just popped open?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. All right.
Oh, wait, what was in that chest? Fuck
Yeah.
no. I didn't take that shit out. It's not my problem.
Tarin,
Yes.
he says, because Eric and his company are friends of the church, and because of the great things they did for Garrett in the past, and because they're working so diligently to spread the word of Osprey to other lands, he says that first I better check to see. Dispel Magic is on the cleric spell list, right? I'm not talking about my ass here. Okay.
Yeah, because I usually have
Yeah,
Eric.
it is.
The reason I haven't taken it is because Eric has it.
Harper could scribe a scroll of Dispel Magic at the highest level known to mortal clerics, and he could do this for you for 1,400 gold. For a generous donation to the church of 1,400 gold. That is...
Damn, 1,400 gold. Remind him that we found that artifact of Osprey shit.
That's why he's giving you such a hefty discount.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good price.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brick Road. Can you give me the inventory on that chest I just popped open again, real quick?
No, I can't.
I mean, especially considering that we're going to be using it on is to free this guy who may or may not try to kill us instantly once
All
he's
right.
free.
Zook,
He
you
won't
got
try and kill us.
2 potions
Yes.
of healing.
Mm-hmm.
1 potion of greater healing. 2 potions you cannot identify.
Okay.
A scroll
And
of
then arrows
alter
of-
self. And then a quiver filled with 17 arrows of dwarvish make.
All right. We'll
So,
do that later.
I suspect that this is all the magic and everything else isn't magical. I think we should try taking it out of the cave and seeing if detect magic confirms that once it's out of this environment.
So you walk it all outside of the cave?
At least, like, let's take the crystal vial and then, like, all the stuff from, like, you know, obviously one of the... I mean, the scrolls are pretty obviously going to be magical, so...
Can't walk outside the front of the cave.
Well,
Yeah,
Eldove
we
can.
No,
Eldove
we
knows
have
the
all the
passwords.
passwords now.
We got all
that's
the
true.
passwords.
Oh, that'll get us past the statues.
And as you walk through
presumably.
room 3, the only thing you can see now against the back wall is the open chests. The empty shelf.
Interesting
Makes
enchantment.
sense.
And when you take the items outside of the cave, they still radiate magic. All of them. Every coin.
Weird.
Maybe it's just because they've been sitting down here so long next to magically reinforced stone that it just kind of bled off onto it.
Magic does not work that way. Good night.
I mean,
And
it's
we
like
had-
it's like how tools can become magnetic if they get left near a magnet for a while.
So, what do you guys do with the hobgoblins? Some of you were going to go talk to hobgoblins. That was about to happen, as I know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you guys go back to the camp? Or do you tell
Yeah.
the war chief to beat you here, or what?
I think we should go back to the camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we want to take our 10th of the gold right now?
I don't think that would be a good idea because, like, there'd be no way to convince the war chief that we weren't making up with more of it than we should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Until he'd seen the whole stash first.
Okay.
So do we leave the
We
treasure where it was, or do we
I'd
just bring
say-
it all?
Leave it in the room with the... Let's leave it in, like, the room with the statues, right?
Yeah.
So, in the,
And,
front in the front
let's-
room?
And let's bring the... No, you know what? Leave it in the second room. Say the word again to relock the... Or the word just suppresses the arcane locks. That way no random adventurers can come in and take our treasure. And then the other thing I think we should do is the wand. We don't really care about that much. And the cloak. I think those are our first pick of magical items. Unless anyone disagrees.
Wait, the wand?
I think we don't even have to mention the wand.
Now, Eldove,
Wait.
the password you use to get through the front door, room number 1 there, also disables the statues for long enough for all you to walk past without them taking a swing at you.
Okay.
Just so we're clear. Okay.
I was taking that as red, but okay.
Yeah,
Um,
that's how I assumed.
I could have been a dick and just rolled to hit against all of you walking through. They would have each statue would have got 2 swings on each of you walking through that room.
Well, wait a second here. I don't think that they would have gotten a swing on each of us. I think they would have gotten 2 swings on the first of us.
And that would have
No.
been eaten by Armor of Agathis.
The way it works is if you move into a 5-foot square of the statue, it attacks you. And you have to walk through 2 squares that are within 5 feet of both statues to get through the doorway. The way
I
I
know.
What are you saying?
What I'm
It's the
saying
first-
is, I think the first time they took a swing at someone, the rest of us would have gone, "Oh wait."
Oh,
hold
I
on."
got you. Right. No.
No, it would have just continued going. Huh? What happened?
No,
to
no,
Tarin?
no. It's a tower defense game. Actually, no. It's a tower defense game, and we're just the
So-
targets. We're the balloons in the tower defense.
So the stuff that, like the potions and the quiver and all that kind of stuff, like, are we just taking that, or are they expecting us to give them, to tell them that we're taking that?
I mean, is there anything you particularly want? Probably the quiver, right?
I want the quiver, and I don't. I mean, we can.
I
Get
think
more potions.
I think one of the party member would be like, "Hey, get that cloak is ours."
Yeah, the cloak is obvious.
I mean, these un-ID'd potions may be useful. I don't know what alter self even does.
What does it sound like it does?
Sounds like
Let's-
it alters yourself.
That's what it does.
Yeah.
Exactly what it says on the tin.
It's a weaker version of polymorph.
Oh well, we have.
I don't
this-
think.
we have
Yeah,
polymorph.
that's not gonna matter.
They can have it. Fuck it. But I don't want this quiver. And
Okay.
I kind of think maybe we should hang on to these potions, but I don't know if they're going to be that useful.
So we're
Well,
keeping the quiver, the cloak, the wand, and the potions from the hobgoblins. We're not even going to tell them about them.
Oh, no,
I'll tell
I was-
them that our share of the magic is is that. I mean,
Okay.
It's the cloak and the quiver.
yeah.
And, yeah.
If they want the potions or the scrolls, I mean, I doubt they gave everyone who can use the scrolls.
Well, you go back to the camp, and I mean, you name drop Treztov as you come into the camp, and you are not. Your passage into the camp is not barred at all, and you find him again in his tent. The sun is starting to go down, And he looks at you and asks for a report, asks how it went. So
we overcame all of his traps and killed him. Simple as that.
He nods. He looks very satisfied. He says, and as for the treasure, what did you find?
There's a huge pile of gold. We haven't touched it yet, so you can fairly see your share, as well as ours.
Now, how did you cart all this gold back? Did you cart it back, or did you leave it there?
No, we left it in the second room.
Okay.
Yeah, we left that shit there.
Yeah, go ahead.
We obviously identified the magical items of use to us. I'll ask someone to produce the cloak and the quiver.
And he waves his hand and says he has no use for magician's trinkets.
Cool. And if you want, the problem is the bear cave is still... There's still one guardian left that would probably not let your men pass. You can enter the tower through the surface. But we can bring you and some of your representatives to there. That's where we left the treasure.
He looks intrigued at the mention of this guardian. Says, what of this guardian? What did you find that you were not able to kill?
Oh, it wasn't that we weren't able to kill it. We bargained with it. We bargained for its freedom. And we will return to do so shortly.
Says, what nature of creature is this?
Not entirely sure.
You are sure. Eldove told you.
Okay.
I mean, you could lie to him. I don't care. But you do. Tarin does know.
Fire spirit.
There's a fire spirit guarding this tower. Why?
I mean, it was magical servitude.
It was enslaved by the wizard. Probably tricked like your people were.
We agreed to free it in exchange for him allowing us passage. We had to kill his brother. And then we were able to convince the second one that fighting was folly.
He nods. He stands up, walks to the edge of the tent, leans out, yells something in his terrible hobgoblin language. A couple of the hobgoblin soldiers come over, and he issues commands to them. And they you see them start to move away, and they gather up a group of hobgoblins and two of the ogres to head up the lake towards the bear cave. He says, so as to the nature of the tower, it still stands. That it's good. I intend to make use of it. I intend to make it my seat. And he holds out his hand for Tarin. And says, I've made a good friend this day.
So, are you going to continue raiding the villages as hobgoblins are known to do, or are you actually going to set up a legitimate authority here? This is technically Dunfostian land, though I don't think they get any use of it.
And you see him smile a little greedily. He says, maybe not as good of a friend as I had thought.
I'm just warning you, I don't have any problems with you.
This is very
I would prefer not, as like with the fire spirit, I would prefer not to see bloodshed unnecessarily.
He says, and you intend to keep your word to this fire spirit. You intend to release him.
Yes.
We kept our word with you.
That's true. You did. So, and how long will you need to conduct this business?
Probably 2 to 3 days, depends on travel.
And he nods. He says, very well. I will see that you take your share of the treasure. And for 1 week hence, you will have safe passage through my lands. After that, I can guarantee you nothing. Do we have an accord?
I'll look at Eldove.
Can't possibly be a worse neighbor than the wizard.
So what's your answer?
Yeah, if Eldove is okay with it. I mean, he's the Dunfostian noble.
Okay.
If he's alright with it.
Eldove's thinking at the moment, he's not saying this out loud, obviously, is that if this dude's not granting us free reign after a week, then there's nothing to say that Eldove's not going to come back after a week if this guy starts terrorizing the local villages.
Yeah.
So, after a while, the ogres come back to camp, carting all the gold from the room. A couple of the goblins don't return because the dwarf statues killed them because they're fucking goblins and they're idiots. So, did you calculate 10% of that loot? Did anybody calculate
no.
your take?
Is this guy planning on actually doing trading to trade those tapestries with someone?
It's valuable. He wants it. He wants 90% of the loot. That was agreed upon. There's no negotiation from this point.
All right.
Whether he keeps it in, whether he keeps this wealth, because I mean, keep in mind a lot of this stuff has intrinsic value. The kind of dealings he does with creatures that aren't necessarily very bright, show them a shiny object, they don't know its value. If he
let's take it in.
For example, the Kenku, any kind of shiny rock, they're happy with.
Let us take it
I
in
say
coin.
we take anything
let's
that's
take
creepy.
Let's take 10% in coin. I say we just take it in coin. Let him deal with the tapestries.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely say we take the random shit. Because if it turns out to be magical, then we have it.
It's all radiating magic, but he doesn't know that. So I mean, you calculate 10% of that, and that's what you can have out of that pile. So you can't have all the random shit. You can have some of it, because if you add it up all together, it's... Well, it might not be, because there's quite a bit of wealth in the gems. I'll let one of you guys do the math.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Okay, so while while you guys are taking care of the math, let's talk about the scroll and Garriton. I'm assuming somebody's going to teleport out there to retrieve it?
Yeah, Tarin will take care of that.
And who's ponying up the gold?
I'm pretty low. It's 1,400.
It's 1,400 for a Dispel Magic
scroll.
Scroll.
I can contribute...
High enough level.
Let me see here. What do I have left? I mean,
this is all going to come out of party score eventually, right? Like, he'll pay me back and I just give you the money.
Well, I don't have... There's not much left in the party loot aside from the money I actually set aside for the ship, because we've invested it all in our keep.
I think this counts as a ship's expense.
At this point, I have 300 gold pieces I could spare. And at that point, I'm just living meal to meal.
Now, granted, half of it's coming from the inn and half of it's coming from my footlocker on the ship, but I can technically provide 800. I just don't know if you can get to it.
Well, you guys have teleport magic. You can get anywhere you need to go.
Yeah. I've got 500 back at the Blue Royal stash that you can have.
Okay. So I'll cover it. I'll mark off my 300.
Okay, so we tallied up 1,400 for that scroll.
How much did you need from me? Sorry.
I need another 1,100. And the rest of you guys.
Yeah, so I'm contributing 500 to that. If you have 600, then we're good.
All right, I give up 600. I'll take it out of my combined stores somehow.
And I have to roll to see if Harper remembers to memorize that spell. I have to. It's the rules.
I got an extra week.
It's in the module. He does. He remembered. So he hands you a Dispel Magic Scroll of level 9 power. This is the highest level magic that a mortal can wield.
Yeah.
And I mean, Harmon hands it to you like a very secretive. Like, he invites you upstairs into his room. He makes sure to instruct you, like, don't let this fall into the wrong hands. This is a significant portion of Osprum's power in the mortal realm, and he's only allowing you to wield it because he knows that you're a friend of the church. And he hands it over.
Thank you. It's much needed, and I am tremendously grateful.
He doesn't know that you're going to use it to release an evil demon, so.
even though our priest, we currently lost him in a nightmare dimension.
And then I'll teleport back to the tower and free him.
Okay. And I mean, when you return to the tower...
Actually, I should bring Zook, because I might have to roll. Zook wouldn't.
Yeah, you would have to roll, and Zook wouldn't.
Yeah.
You go back to the tower, and... Yeah, the Hobgoblin Warchief has taken up residence. And he's working to fortify the defenses. Did anybody teach him the command words for the doors in the dungeon?
Oh, fuck no.
In that case, then he's bricked up the floor of the dungeon. The ladder that leads up into the tower, he bricks it over. Decides he doesn't need anything to do with this magical, horrible tunnel. He has it bricked up from the bottom, and as soon as you guys are done doing what you need to do in the tunnel, he intends to destroy the entrance on the outside as well.
Eldove, do you want to come along?
Come along where?
To help us free this thing.
So you go down.
Oh, yeah, sure. We have to get our part of the treasure anyway.
And the Efreet...
Oh, wait, no, they already carted that back.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
The Efreeti is still there. And so, Zook, you're holding this level 9 Dispel Magic Scroll in your hand. And standing in front of this extremely angry and ferocious-looking Efreeti warrior with a very big scimitar. And the only thing standing between him and you is a magical chain around his throat, binding him to a pillar.
and Tarin, with his sword drawn and armor of Agathis up.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I'll
It's
ask,
not in between.
and because I don't speak his language, I'll ask the two that can speak to him. I'll say, so this is, he's still cool with this deal. We're gonna let him go. He's gonna go away.
I'll confirm once. You'll cause no harm to creatures in this world, and will return to your own home.
He says...
We have the means here to free you, and it was at no small expense.
He says, by freeing me, you will be doing me a great service. But on the other hand, you've killed my brother, so I will consider the debt to be repaid. So long as our paths do not cross again, you'll have nothing to fear from me.
Alright, well, fingers crossed this does the trick. Zook will do what he can with the Dispel scroll.
And Zook's holding this scroll in his hand, and you discharge the magic from it. And the scroll vaporizes in your hand into dust. And the dust looks like silver filament on the air. It smells like fish. Weird. And it moves to the chain and coats it. And you see the chain dissolve into this white mist. And the shackle around the Efreet's throat dissolves similarly. And he reaches up and touches his throat where the shackle was. Then he reaches down and takes his scimitar and walks briskly out of the room.
Alright, and now once he's clear of the building...
Zook on the back, and I go, it's awesome, isn't it?
I feel this power.
Eldove, I want you to telekinesis that load-bearing pillar out of here as soon as I open up a portal so we can walk out.
It's not actually a load-bearing pillar. I was just fucking with him. And no, the pillar itself is still magical.
Oh, I was hoping that was...
The magic on the chain is dispelled.
No, we've got a secret entrance to this place that all we need to destroy is a brick wall to get through. If
I
we
have a
need to
feeling
get back into this tower and fuck with some hobgoblins.
He'll probably collapse it.
Okay, so that does bring us to the end of the adventure. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to do in this area?
Not in this area, but in the next... If we had downtime, I was hoping we could identify some of this stuff that we walked away with.
I gave Eldove, as long as he's casting the spell on the ship or back at the inn, I gave him an inexhaustible supply of pearls. So as long as Eldove casts that identify spell back at the inn, he has as many pearls as he needs.
Yeah. That's my question is, where do we go after this? Are we still adventuring, or are we going to make our way back home for downtime?
By the way, we grabbed basically everything but the gold, the silver, the gems, and the tapestries.
All of that stuff, it is magical. It is enchanted. But the only enchantment on it is to make it radiate magic.
Yeah, it's undetectable. It's detectable aura.
Now, how about this quiver that I picked up?
Eldove, when you sit with the quiver and hold it in your hand and the arrows, you get a glimpse of a dwarven ranger skulking through the woods, firing arrows, hunting beasts. These are +1 arrows. They don't require attunement, but once one of the arrows is fired, it loses its enchantment. So if it's fired from a +1 bow, it's a cumulative +2 as long as you don't run out of arrows. Once you fired all 17, they're no longer enchanted.
Oh, there's 17, okay.
There's 17 of them, not quite a full quiver.
Okay.
The other two
I'm
potions,
hang on to that.
One is a potion of growth, and one is a potion of Storm Giant Strength.
Ooh, I'll take that. Actually, Khalil, I have a Hill Giant Strength. Khalil can get the Storm Giant Strength.
It's a potion, though, not gauntlets.
No, I have a potion of Hill Giant Strength, too.
Okay.
Okay.
The wand is a wand of magic missiles. I actually don't have the rules for it handy. I guess I can look that up real quick.
Does it replenish charges?
I don't know. It's a good question. I imagine it does, but...
By the book, it does.
It might be useful for Zook to have just as an unmissable arrow.
Yeah, it has 7 charges. You can hold it, use an action to expend 1 or more charges at a time to cast magic missile from it. For 1 charge, you get a 1st level. For 7 charges, you get a 7th level. It regains 1d6 plus 1 charges daily at dawn. And if you use the last charge, there's a 5% chance it explodes. And you have no idea how many charges it has right now.
7th level magic missile.
Basically, we're back to every week or so we can use it 6 times.
Yes, as long as you're safe about it. The cloak is a cloak of teleportation. If you wear it and close your eyes and envision a place you're familiar with, it'll blink you to that location without crossing any intervening planes. And it works once per week.
Nice.
Does it follow the rules of teleportation?
Yeah, I would say so. Let's not complicate things. But it's a place you have to be familiar with it. You can't just envision a place that's been described to you.
So I'm guessing this potion would extend my strength beyond the natural 20 cap.
Yes, considerably.
Okay.
Not permanently, though.
I know.
Taking this quiver off of the party loot because I'm definitely hanging on to this. Now, what would be the rule for me carrying quivers? Like, you won't let me just carry 2 quivers around, so I would have to, like, say I carry 2 of these arrows in my quiver or whatever? How would you make me handle that?
You can carry 1 quiver that holds 20 arrows. It's up to you what arrows you want to put in it.
Okay, fair enough. I'll figure that out before the next adventure.
It's really cumbersome to carry more than that.
No, and that makes sense.
I mean, you're already loaded down with a pack that has a bunch of dumb shit in it. Look at, like, I went through Zook's inventory a couple of sessions ago for the whole Kenku thing.
Yeah.
He's carrying dumb shit. It just goes way back to God knows where.
Well, see, you made the mistake of telling me we're not going to worry about encumbrance rules, so I've just held on to every goddamn thing.
I believe what I said is we're not going to worry about encumbrance rules unless it gets silly. And carrying 2 quivers is kind of silly.
No,
are you playing Skyrim?
What I will probably do is say that I'm keeping 5 of these on hand, and the rest will stay at the at the inn, and I'll replenish it from that if we if I somehow use all those in adventure.
Okay, so everybody gets to take a level for the adventure.
Yay.
I'm really, really happy that we didn't have to actually go through the combat with the hobgoblins.
I thought for sure someone was just going to take a swing at him.
I have them all statted out here. Nobody would have survived. None of you. There's no way. There are 600 individual creatures in and around these woods: hobgoblins, goblins, ogres, and bugbears. And if you picked a fight with them, I even asked Eldove the other day, like, how many hobgoblins do you think you can kill in 1 round? So.
And I asked how I could position the hobgoblins.
He's like, can I stack them up? Like,
can I cram them all into a 20-foot radius sphere?
Yeah.
So, Eldove, we're telling the Prince of Dunfoss about this, like, yesterday?
Oh, hells yeah. I'm gonna tell him, hey, Hobgoblin moved into a mage's tower nearby.
And he does not like that one bit. And he holds you personally responsible for anything that happens as a result of this.
Wow.
He is very upset that you allowed a hobgoblin war chief to move into his lands. It has been...
Does it mollify him at all when I tell him about the horrible death ray pointed at Dunfoss?
No, because the wizard that lived in that tower never posed the people of Dunfoss any threat as far as Humberth knows. He accuses you of replacing the villain that they knew with the villain that they don't. These hobgoblins will cause more death and destruction to the people of Dunfoss than that Ferrus Angus ever did. No,
Good job, Eldove.
he berates you for this decision.
He can't berate me that badly. He only has 25 words.
Well, I mean, like, Humberth is a man of few words anyway, so he gets his point across with room to spare. No, he's not happy.
Eldove feels like he made the decision in the field that made the best sense to him. I'm gonna take this too hard.
Eldove can rationalize anything he needs to. It's fine.
Yeah. He rationalizes everything away.
So, next week we're going to start with some downtime. Probably like a month or so of downtime to just deal with ship and inn stuff. What's the next move for the group? What is the next quest line you're going to go down?
A little bit silly going there. I going to like Penafar because like we got nothing out of it. Nothing, but we did.
I still don't understand
like
why we went there to begin with. Like, I don't think those glasses were helpful at all.
Well, they would have been if they existed.
No, they wouldn't have, because we have you to do that. Like, who are we going to give them to? Who cares?
It's not like we have an inexhaustible supply of scrolls. Like, I'm looking at the party loot, we maybe have 4. And none of them are really, like, illusionary script, really? I've been carrying that since the second session.
I never thought it was a good idea to go to that tower.
I'm starting to think that we should deal with Null Contour and or the Udocs sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I said we wait a week and then we kill some hobgoblins.
Yeah, Orphan's itching to go back and deal with some non-contact.
And here's the thing:
we can help. We can help.
Khalil in the meantime.
Well, when are we going to get? When are we going to go liberate a Udoc village and get ourselves some farmers for our hometown?
Free some slaves. Zook. The term is freeing slaves.
Here's the thing, right? Those Udocs matter so little at this level that we could do that in downtime.
Kinda, yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, there's still whatever's the source of their water. They hired a better mercenary company. They're still actually dealing with them.
I'm a lot more concerned with Nalkantar.
Yeah, at this point I am too.
Now, something curious happens over the course of the next few days. Not necessarily days, maybe a week or two later. Tarin, you receive a sending from someone you haven't heard from in a very long time. Kefas, the Giant King.
Oh, yeah.
Who you still never met.
I can't send to him. I thought,
He's seen you.
He sends to you.
I've been going back and forth on sending her a dream for literally over a year at this point.
But the message is that he's not sure what to make of you. But he says he owes you a small debt of gratitude for freeing the noble fire spirit.
Oh,
and that's it.
Wow.
That's all you get.
Oh, okay. Wait, which guy was that again?
The giant who lives south of the Udocs who sent his hill giants against us.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Remember?
Shit, maybe we can get some hill giant.
He was like, "Hey, why don't you return my sending stone, or I'm going to send a bunch of giants after you." Y'all were like, "Whatever."
We're all like, "Well, we'll have it to you in 2 weeks. We're busy."
No, I definitely remember when that happened. And what happened was we were all the way down the river, and you said that it was like a million years behind us. And it was like, "Can we get there in time?" No. Okay.
Guys, I just had a vision of Zook riding on a hill giant's shoulder as we storm Udok's village. We need to leverage this.